What's up, people? Party people, party people. What up, though? Finna let y'all come in before I bring Tony in. Tony's already here. He's ready to rock and roll. He is backstage. So he's ready to set the record straight in his own words. And all that good stuff. So let me get on. I'm all straight. How everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great Easter. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me put y'all up on the big screen. So let me see. How's everybody doing? Let me see y'all in the comment. Oh, we got 10 comments. They ready. Tony, they ready for you, bro. Hey, y'all. Tony from up top. Let's go. We here. So ready for this interview. Rashid does it great. Thank you, Ashley Price. Hello, everybody. This should be interesting. Yes, it's going to be very interesting. Thank you, guys. Hi from Jamaica. What's up, Island Girl? No. Hey, Tony. I from Jamaica is MP. Kansas City, Missouri in the building. Been waiting to hear from Tony. Happy Easter, everybody. Uh-oh, what happened? Something went wrong. Let me go back. Bam. Where we at? Go back. Bam. Tony's in the back room. We're about to get going. All right, let me see. I'm gonna put y'all on the big screen so we can get started. Can everybody hear me good? Let me get a thumbs up. You can hear me. Everybody can hear me well. My lighting is good. Let me know. Cannot wait. We're gonna let a few more people come in. Y'all been waiting on Tony, right? Y'all want to hear from what Tony has to say. I love it. Well, thanks again so much for all of you guys supporting the channel. Simone and I really, really appreciate you guys. We love you. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. I've been looking forward to this interview as well. I reached out to this brother and he happily accepted without hesitation. So he wants to talk to you guys. He wants to hear from you all. So let's get ready to roll. I'm about to bring him in shortly. I'm just trying to get y'all up on the screen so I can see y'all's comments. So it's a little easier. So we can get started. But thanks again. Like and subscribe. Remember, join our community. We are still filming our Ready to Wed info. Our Ready to Wed series. And for those of you who don't know, the reason why it has not come out yet is we've been hearing from some production companies and some people are interested. So that's kind of where we're at with it. So obviously, we're always going to look for the bag. So if they talking numbers, then we're going to listen. So it's going to be coming to you in some form or fashion. We don't know on what platform yet. All right. So best wishes. Thank you. All right, everybody, please stop doing reviews. You guys are the best. They don't want us to stop doing reviews. You know about that. You know, me and Simone talked about the reviews. It's almost one of those things like you want to leave on top, right? You don't want to leave when y'all are tired of us and when it's just old and nobody's tuning in. It's always good to leave on your own, like on your own volition. So that's kind of what we've been talking about. But we've been hearing so much from you guys, so we may reconsider it. We're going to enjoy this time off when this show ends, and then maybe we'll come back to it. But anyway, without further ado, let's bring in Tony to get him on the screen. Tony, where you at? Tony.
You have to.
All right. Tony, we're waiting on you. Hopefully your internet's going okay over there. No storms in Miami. We don't need the internet to go bad now. Tone. All right, so Tony just fell off. Hopefully, he'll just come right back in. Somebody said Cricket Mobile. There y'all go. Y'all starting already. All right, I think Tony's right here. What am I drinking? I'm drinking in honor of Tony, because if y'all watch our shows, I said, because I was talking to Tony in the back in the green room. It's like one of the shows I said, man, Tony looked like he drank nothing but straight Hennessy all day long. So for the night, I got some Hennessy and lemonade. And he talked about he always does drink Hennessy. He gonna switch it up tonight though. All right, let's go. I think he's here. All right, Tony. I see you in the green room. There we go. All right, Tony, you're frozen, brother. Yeah. Close out. Are you on your phone or are you on your phone or well then I'm a problem, boss. I'm a problem. Boss.
Do you hear me?
I hear you, but you're frozen. They already tearing you up. They say you borrowing somebody's Wi-Fi. Oh man. So Tony, turn off all your stuff that you got going on and exit and come
Hey,
back.
how you doing? I'm having a bad connection. Do you hear me now?
I hear you, but you're frozen.
My laptop is not working. I'm on my phone. Do you hear me now?
Okay. I hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, you moving now. All right, can you hear me, Tony?
Do you hear me? Do you see me? Do you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes. I'm gonna remove you real quick. All right, guys, let's get Tony figured out, and we'll jump on. Yes. No. Let me text.
Tell him to try turning off the Wi-Fi and just use cellular.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all, bear with us. Somebody said, tell him to hold the phone outside. So, how was everybody's Easter? Hope y'all had a good Easter with family and friends. We did. It was cool, nice, relaxing. Ate good food. But I was looking forward to this. I know you guys have been looking forward to it as well. Okay, I got Tony here. Looks like he's moving and grooving. Let's see what we got here. Tony,
You hear me? You
I
hear
hear
me?
you. What up? All right, cool.
All right, man. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. All right.
Let's do it. All right. So,
Yeah.
everybody's been waiting for you. Happy birthday. I see some people in the comments. All right, Tony.
Thank you. Truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man. I know you've been seeing your name a lot in the headlines for not so good reasons, but we're gonna get into that, and I'm gonna give you an opportunity to say what you want to say, and give you this platform in a safe space. But at the same time, people want to hear from you, and there's some inconsistencies that people have seen, and some red flags is so popular to say these
Absolutely.
days. So we'll talk about those things. But real quick, man, for the people who don't know your background, Tony, where you from originally? Tell us about yourself real quick and give us a little bio on Tony, man.
Yeah. Obviously, how everyone know I'm from New York. I'm from Long Island, Hempstead, the Queens area. So, it's all next to each other.
Yeah.
Went to school in New York. I graduated and went to school in Connecticut. Have a BA in accounting, master's in taxation. I'm an accountant. Just a real humble, laid back dude. I have two kids, and my mother again, as I mentioned earlier, is a pastor, and I definitely believe in God. Yeah, I'm just like a humble guy and very laid back. I know the show didn't show that how laid back I am, but anybody who know me personally know that I'm really a humble, laid back dude. So that's pretty much I am. I'm focused on being a great dad, and that's pretty much it.
Got you. Got you. Okay, so you talked about you had 2 kids. So some people were saying you didn't mention your kids too much on the show. A lot of people didn't know it. I've already seen the comments. They're like, Tony got kids. Did you
Right.
intentionally withhold that
Right.
information? And if so, why? And then tell us
Well,
about the kids
well, yeah,
situation.
absolutely. My connections knew I had kids. I'm very private when it comes to my personal life. Definitely dealing with my kids. Obviously, I'm not going to just throw my kids out there, but Marcia and Morgan definitely knew that I had 2 boys that I'm very much involved in their life, and it's just something that I didn't want to throw out there in public. So yeah.
Right, right. So how old are your boys?
Yeah, I have believe it or not, a 17-year-old. He's graduating this year, and I have a 9-year-old.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you were just trying to keep them protected from the
Yes,
spotlight and
absolutely. Absolutely.
obviously your
My
9-year-old.
kids.
Go ahead. I'm saying
Yeah.
your 9-year-old's a minor, so I get it.
Right. My kids are my number one priority, and I keep them close and dear to me. So it's very important to me to protect my kids, right? So I was very calculated in terms of putting my kids out there in public. Absolutely.
I got you. Okay. I got you. So with that being said, some people would argue, okay, you want to be a private person, but then you go on national television where it's no longer private. So people can look you
Right.
up, people can figure out your background, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So
Right.
with that being said, what made you decide to go on Ready to Love, and how was it presented to you, and what made you say yes?
Well, actually, to be honest, I didn't apply for it. I didn't put in any applications or anything like that. They actually found me, and I was hesitated. I was hesitant, excuse me, at first in terms of me and my me being out there in the public and pretty much just throwing myself out there, right? And in terms of relationships and things like that. So I was a little bit nervous. I was a little bit skeptical at first, and I declined it a few times. But then I thought about it, and I said, I really want to. Find that special woman. So let me give it a try and see what becomes of it. So I decided to do it. Yes.
So you went into the show with full intentions of being open to the process and potentially finding a wife. You were looking for
Absolutely. I let my guards down, full intentions. I work all the time. I'm a really busy person, but I really wanted to take this time out for myself and find that special woman, right? So I figured, why not? Let me give it a try, and hopefully, something can become of it. And I decided to enter the, Ready to Love RTL.
Okay. Okay. So then we're going to get into what everybody wants to hear about. But right now, as it sits, with all that's going on, good and bad, do you regret at all getting on Ready to Love and exposing yourself to the world, exposing yourself to
Right.
criticism? And
No, I do not. I think I had a great experience, and I learned a lot of things, about myself in general. And it was a great experience. I met great, beautiful women. I met great friends. I have, until this day, 3 of my closest friends is from RTL. So I would not regret this, not a day in my life. I really enjoyed it, had a great time, a great experience. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future.
okay, cool. So that was my next question because, when you get a group of people, it's 10 women, 10 men, and some people can kind of click up and, do their own
Right.
thing. Not saying it's a
Right.
negative thing, but sometimes it can be like high school, okay, we're going to sit at the cool kids table, these people. So who are you really cool with from the show and still interact
Right.
with?
So my actual brothers from the show is definitely Mark Anthony, known as Saint, Anthony, and Dre.
Mhm.
It's my 3 brothers. I talk to them every day.
That's
All
what's
3
up.
of us is really tight, and yeah, that's my support here. As they know, I have no family besides my child out here. All my family is up top in New York. So to meet 3 men that's great characters, strong and supportive, and they truly my brothers. And I, if I don't take anything out of RTL, I take my 3 brothers. So great.
Got you. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So, and we're going to get into RTL real quick, but I wanted to go back to your two sons. Are they in the same city with you? How often are you a super active
No,
father?
no. So my son is the eldest one, the 17-year-old is in Connecticut, and the 9-year-old is actually here in Miramar, in Florida, South
Okay.
Florida. Yes.
Okay. Cool. 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 Now, are these from the same mother? Were you ever married, or how did these?
No,
How were these?
I was not married. I was engaged twice, never married. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But yes, I'm very involved in my child's life. Yes.
Okay. And both the kids from the same mom?
No, different mothers.
Okay. So you said
One
your
live in
oldest is
Connecticut, one live here in Maryland.
right. So you said one's Connecticut. That's where you went to college. So was that it was a
Yes.
result of a
So
relationship in Connecticut that you had?
that is correct. Yes, and he
Gotcha.
comes every summer and spend the summer with me and my younger one. So yes.
Oh, I know you're looking forward to that. That's dope.
Absolutely. And again, he's graduating this year, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. College is definitely in the future, so I'm just looking forward to supporting my child and living this hectic life together with him.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's dope. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. You and Morgan. You and Morgan.
Right.
So
Yes.
obviously you go on the show. The goal is to find someone that you're going to potentially walk off into the sunset down the yellow brick road. All right. So tell us, what was the infatuation? What was the initial attraction with you and Morgan? And what mentally made you all hit it off? I know there's physical attraction, so you can talk about
Right.
that, but what made you want to pursue her
Yeah.
ultimately?
Right. So obviously the physical attraction is there, but you know, off camera, Morgan and I had great conversation. I know on camera it seems like we bump heads a lot of things of that nature. But honestly, off camera, I got to know Morgan. Morgan really got to know me, and she got to know the Tony that that she really endured in life. And I felt the same way with Morgan. Obviously the spirituality is there, right? By no means am I perfect. By no means. I'm still a work in progress, right? Every day I'm trying to build and become a better person.
Right.
However, that spirituality we do have, I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in God, and I do believe in prayer. And I'm not saying that I'm a religious person, but I do believe in a higher power. And I think Morgan and I got connected on a spiritual level, and then again, just off camera, just vibing, talking, and just everyday life and things like that. And it really brought me close to Morgan. I know, you know on TV. It doesn't show all of that, but
Mhm.
we had a lot of experiences together off camera. So that
Gotcha.
that that really got us tight like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, respect that. So would you say you and Morgan had very similar life goals? Because she was wife me now. 2 years, boom, I need to be married. I want kids. You have to.
Right.
So in your
Mhm.
interactions about happily ever after, did you all
Right.
share in what that looked like for the both of you? Were you all
Right.
pulling in the
Absolutely.
same direction?
Right. Absolutely. She was very upfront with me. Morgan didn't hold anything back. What she said on TV, I already knew that, right? During the course of conversation that we already had. So, yeah, I was right on board.
Mhm.
At the time, I was 42. Obviously, my birthday just came. I'm 43 years old, and
Yeah, happy
I
birthday.
really want that. I really want a wife. I really want that still picket fence and just having a family. Even though I'm very active in my child's life, it's
Yeah,
not the same as waking up with your kids.
for sure.
Your
Trust
kids
me, I know.
jumping on your bed and things of that nature. So I long for that. I long for that. That's
Okay.
something that I want. And Morgan and I did discuss. I knew right away what Morgan wanted. She was very
Okay.
upfront. So I wasn't taken by surprise when she stated that on national TV. And
Okay.
it's just something that I definitely wanted as well. So we both shared the same goals at the end. Absolutely.
Okay. So you was ready to have more kids with her and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Absolutely.
Okay, got you. So how did she feel about you being engaged twice and not working out? Because one time I get it, but then twice those engagements not leading to marriage. What
Mhm.
were the issues there, and did she express any concern?
Well, yeah, obviously she did. Yeah, to backtrack, my first engagement, I was young. You know,
Yeah,
um, I was young. I didn't really know about what true love is, and being 21, 22 years old, still trying to find who I
yeah.
am. Right,
Oh wow,
still
you were that
trying
young?
to. huh?
You were that young?
Yeah,
Oh,
still
I never
trying
would have got
to.
engaged at that age.
Right. No, still trying to hone in on my skill set, what
Right.
I'm going to be, who I'm going to be as a man, my career path, and I just felt at the time, when she ended up pregnant, based on my upbringing, that was the thing to do,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
know. But as time went by, I realized, I don't want to get married and get a divorce. I don't want that. And I do understand that we was very much young, 21, 22. I had my son at 22 years old, so
Right.
it was something that, we was just too young.
Mm.
I'm not going to say unfortunately, but fortunately we had a beautiful son together. And
Right. For sure.
I just manned up and handled my responsibility.
Okay. Got
For my second one, actually, it was a long distance relationship, right? Working for the government, I met her actually down here in Florida. So the long distance for 3 years, back and forth, right? She's in Connecticut, or I'm down here in South Florida, right? And we really did discuss marriage and things of that nature. She ended up pregnant, so I
got
did the right thing. I said, you know what? She's pregnant.
sure.
I'm going to move down to South Florida,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So that's what got you to Florida.
Right.
Okay.
So
I can respect
honestly,
that. Okay.
honestly, she's a beautiful woman. I have nothing but great things to say about her. But when you're in a long distance relationship, I want to say you really don't know each other until you guys live together.
It
You
gets
guys,
real.
it gets real, right?
Yeah.
So it's certain things that I didn't like, us living together, and I'm pretty sure she felt the same way about me. And I'm like, wow, I really don't know this woman. That long distance relationship, it's hard to be in a long distance relationship. And anybody who been in a long distance relationship understand where I'm coming from, right? So I moved here, and again, we had another beautiful child. I thought this was the woman of my life. However, it didn't work out for whatever reason. It just didn't work out. And yeah,
I got you.
here I am. Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
So let's get back to Morgan. So you picked Morgan. You had other ladies to choose from, obviously. And there's a whole Natasha component that we'll get into a little later. And then
Right.
you were seeing another young lady, Marcia, right? That you were interested in.
Right.
So what did you like in those two other women, but what made Morgan stand out?
Right.
Did she only
Well,
stand out because the other ones were eliminated?
right.
Would you have gone another route? Or did Morgan
Well,
stand out head and
let
shoulders?
me let right. Thanks. That's a great question. Let me start off first by saying all three of them are dope. They all beautiful women. Um, they all have certain characteristics that I look in a woman, right? Um,
Yeah.
my connection with Marcia, dope connection. We had a great connection. Marcia is a beautiful, intelligent, sound-minded woman. Um, I actually was a little bit mad at production because they really didn't show more. Natasha. Excuse me, Marcia and our connection. Right? They really didn't show. They show little glimpses and pieces of me and Marcia, but me and Marcia had some nice dates and things of that nature, and we shared a nice connection, Marcia and I.
Okay.
I definitely could have seen Marcia being in a relationship with Marcia in the future, but things just didn't work out that way, right? Until this day, Marcia and I, we talk from time to time. We friends, it's no ill will or anything like that. So, Marcia is definitely a good person, right? With Natasha, again, and like you said, I'm not going to say too much on that because we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Me and Natasha had a relationship, for about, it was a limited relationship in terms of it wasn't long, it didn't last long. However, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything. We did have a relationship, but it didn't carry on throughout the whole season.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, and then we'll spend our time on that for sure. So
Absolutely.
I was gonna have some other things, but as you talk, it just made me think. Okay, so Marcia, the
Right.
whole comment when you guys were on your getaway, when you told allegedly,
Right.
once you clear it up,
Yes.
you told
Yes.
Lyndon that
Yeah.
if she was here, he could have Morgan.
So,
Please explain on that because that
yo,
sounded crazy, bro.
listen,
Like
man.
that sounded.
Listen.
So we
She,
got to hear from you on that.
let me be upfront and direct with you as well as everyone who's watching. Right? that conversation wasn't even with Lyndon, man.
Okay.
All right. So what happened was me and Saint. Anybody who don't know who Saint is Mark Anthony.
That's Mark
Me
Anthony.
and Mark Anthony was having a discussion. We was talking. All right. And boys just talking their shit, real talk. We just talking our shit. And Lyndon just came over. I have no ill will towards Lyndon. Lyndon did what he had to do. I don't hate Lyndon or anything like that. But that conversation wasn't for Lyndon. It was directed at me and Mark Anthony having a direct conversation, and Lyndon was just in the midst of it right there.
Right. So he was in the midst of it. He just heard some from third party. He wasn't in the conversation.
Right. Absolutely. However,
but it still sounds crazy. If he was there or not, it still sounds crazy.
Right. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. As a man, I take full accountability of that. I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna own that. Right. So I did say that, and as I mentioned on the show, I did say that. However, I didn't mean it, and to be honest with you, I didn't, and I learned so much throughout this process in terms of Tony, when you mad, you can't say things you don't mean because you hurt other people that you care about, and I realized that I hurt Morgan. Right? If you can imagine how Morgan felt, man, you know what I'm saying, and that's something if I can take back, I would. But, I have to eat that. I have to own that. And I take full responsibility of my actions. I'm not going to blame it on production. I'm not going to blame it on Lyndon. I'm not going to blame it on anybody. I'm going to eat that. Let Tony eat that. Right. So and that's what I'm going to do. And, I definitely want to address Morgan before the show ends as well. But, that's something I had to eat. I regret what I said. Yeah. Right. It was very distasteful. It was nasty. It was like, the nerve of this guy to say something like that, right? So
that's how it came across. It came across and super boys club, high school locker room. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I was wrong.
To your point, though, I can see sometimes how it can get there when guys are talking, but at the same time, it can never come off too disrespectful when you get in your feelings. Right. So, with that being said, were you beefing with Morgan at the time? What made you go there? Were you in a emotional state with her? Had y'all got into it?
Nah, it was kind of, I just got tired of the games, right, man. I'm thinking Morgan and I have a connection. And again, I'm not blaming it on that. It was me. I'm taking full responsibility and accountability of that. I just felt like, at the time, Marcia and our conversation and my conversation was real. It was authentic. It was, me and Marcia have, we connected, man, and we talk, right? And I just feel like, Morgan tell me one thing and then turn around and tell Lyndon another thing, So I just felt like, in a sense, betrayed, even though we wasn't even together. How crazy that sound, but I knew that Morgan and I had a connection, and I unfortunately that's what I said.
Right. Well, I could tell you're an emotional dude, man. I went to school. I know some New York cats. You come across strong, hard, brash, but I try to tell people, guys have feelings too, and you showed your emotions, but you let your emotions get the best of you.
Absolutely.
You said some stuff that you can't matrix back in your mouth. So, like you said, you got to stand 10 toes on that one. I do appreciate the fact that you're not blaming production. A lot of people get on here and blame production. But so my other question, when you said that statement, which was completely out of pocket, we all agree on that.
Right.
When you said that, at what stage was this in the process? Because obviously Marcia, because if she was gone, then it's obviously later on, right, for you to even say that.
Well, it was right when Marcia left and we went on the retreat.
So it's before the retreat. So that's why he felt.
Yes, it was actually that morning, right before we got in the car to go to the retreat. Yes.
And a lot of people don't know. These things look like weeks, but these are days in one. Sometimes you film 16, 18, 20-hour days because, especially for y'all, we were on a resort, so we filmed every day, but y'all are just filming around your everyday life. You got to go to work, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And so one day, the next day is like 3 weeks on camera.
Right. And it's funny you said that. I'm rushing, coming from the office to get prepared and things like that. So it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. So man, because when I saw it, I was like, damn, Tony, why say that even in some braggadocious machismo moment? But again, you said, you stood on it, and nobody's perfect. But
Right, right,
with that being
right,
said, it looked like you had animosity towards Lyndon, and a lot of times our egos can get in the way because on the front side, you was like, man, I'm good. Like, I'm not worried about him. Creed rises to the top. He got to come get me. Like, she wants me, I want her. He's just
right.
a guy in on a corner on the side. So why were you letting him get under your skin like that when you felt you
Right,
had already won
right.
anyway?
Well, let me let me
It
let
seemed
me
like he was getting under your skin.
right. Well, let me start by saying, I hold no ill will towards Lyndon. What nobody knows is Lyndon and I had a good relationship. Prior to all of this, and me and Lyndon, we had a strong bond. And he was my boy. He
Okay.
really was. I just think throughout this process, you know. I don't want to say it was a competition, but we competing or we trying to win a beautiful woman love. It got to both of us, right? And again, throughout the house, at the end, I did apologize to Lyndon in terms of how I acted, how I responded in terms of confrontation, how I challenged Lyndon. That's not even me, man. It's really not in terms of, I have two boys who look up to me, right? And to go back and watch that, I cringe. I really do cringe. And
Okay.
obviously the cameras didn't show, but in the house, I actually went to the room where Lyndon was in, and they had cameras and things like that. And I truly apologized to Lyndon, and we hugged it out,
Okay.
and we was good after that.
All right. So yeah, so that was my only question because it seemed like from us viewers, it seemed like Morgan clearly you were her number one, right?
Hmm.
So even if he was coming around talking when the two of you were there, you seemed very agitated when it was you and Morgan, and
Hmm.
then he would pull up, and you felt like, man, who is this dude? Like, why is he pulling up? Why did you let that bother you to whereas it became confrontational or became to
Right,
whereas
right.
I'll tell you what I have to tell you my truth, you tell me yours, and now what? Because did you feel like all fair in love and war? Like gloves are off, I'm coming for this woman, so I can
Mhm.
cannibalize anybody? Like what made
Listen,
you
listen.
go that far?
I had this. I had the mindset on going into this house, stating my claim, man. Like, listen, this is it. This is what's going to be. And listen, I give Lyndon all the credit in the world. This dude would not give up. He did not let my verbal altercations scare him or get him
No.
nervous or anything
Yeah,
like that. So let shout out to Lyndon, man, for
yeah, for
real. Let
sure.
me shout out to Lyndon, and the dude just kept on, and it kind of
Yeah.
irritated me. It, I
Right.
I have
We
to
saw
admit
it.
it
Yeah,
really it
B100 because we saw it.
yeah, it really did. I'm like this dude will not go away, man. You know what I'm saying? He would not go away. But like I said, shout out to Lyndon. He stood his ground. And until the end, he wouldn't let go. And
Yeah.
I respect that as a man. You know what I'm saying? I think I could have handled it much better,
Mhm.
right? And again, that's areas that I definitely need to improve in.
Yeah.
And when I watched it, I cringed because I know that's not like me. It's really not, man. That's not who I am, man. But
Right.
again, I kind of lost myself in that process,
Yeah.
and again, I take full accountability for that as well.
Got you. So, a lot of people, a lot of things are going around buzzwords that we didn't have the names for growing up. Me and yours, I'm only 2 years older than you. Me and you, we didn't hear these things. We were taught to grow up and be tough, not cry and stick your chest out and this, that, and the
Right,
third.
right,
But you hear certain forms of that. People are denouncing those type of things, and people call it toxic masculinity. Do you
right,
feel
right,
you were explaining those things, expressing that on camera, and you said you've got two young kings at home? So I
right.
can understand
Absolutely.
how. So have you had to have a conversation with them about daddy
Listen,
and how I was
listen.
acting and what to not to do?
Right, great question. That's a. It's funny you mentioned that to me because I was just on the phone with my 17-year-old, and he's seen it. He's seen how Daddy responded, and I had to tell him, like, listen, Chase, Daddy is wrong. You know, um, when you wrong as a man, you have to accept that, take accountability for it, right? And and just correct your wrong, right? And don't go back and do the same thing. So I told him, like, I was real with my son. Like, Daddy lost himself, but that doesn't define who I am as a person, right?
Yeah.
You guys, one thing I bring myself to is never ever give the people with the less information or the least information the most consideration, right? So, all the negative press and things like that, I understand that. I deserve that the way I showed my ass on TV. However, that doesn't define who I am, and I'm here to correct that, right? Because I have,
Right.
like you said, two boys who look up to me. My boys look up to me, and for him to see, and my son, he read it. He's on Twitter.
He's
He see
17.
what they say
Yeah.
about his dad. He see all of that, and I had a heart to heart with him and told him that daddy made a horrible mistake, and everyone make mistakes in life, but what defines you is being able to own up and confess to those mistakes and apologize and move forward, and become a better man.
Yeah, I love that. So, okay, so last thing on Lyndon, man, I agree with you. I even said it on our review. Shout out to him. He didn't let you intimidate him. He kept moving.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Lyndon. I reached
Absolutely.
out to Lyndon too. Hopefully he comes on the show as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, shout out to Lyndon. So, all right. So you and Morgan, bro. So when you decide to go that route, all right, you talked about the two other ladies you were entertaining. Of course, you made a huge, fumble when you said what you said about Marcia. All right, we talked about that. So moving forward, now nobody's perfect. So Morgan showed herself on TV a certain light as well that some people didn't agree with. She seemed like very vindictive, vengeful, very opinionated, and very matter of fact of what she wants. Right. And you came across as you enjoyed it, kind of like you liked, quote unquote, the banter or the volleying back and forth, but ultimately you want to be the head dog, you want to be the leader, and you want control. So a lot of people felt that you were very controlling, but also sometimes Morgan fed into those things. So with that being said, about the control factor that people are seeing from you, it seems like, again, the toxic masculinity, the Neanderthal man, knock you over the head, bring you back to my cave. You know what I'm saying? So shed some light on y'all's interaction.
So
is that naturally you, or did she bring that out of you, or you were just stuck on TV and you just got outside yourself?
I think is how it's being portrayed, right? I am so not a confrontational person. I stated earlier that I'm very humble. Yes, I speak up as a man, right? And I don't let anyone talk to me any type of crazy ways and things like that. So as Morgan have a strong personality, and it takes a strong type of man to deal with someone like Morgan.
Trust me, I got one in the other
room.
Right.
No, absolutely.
Strong personality.
So that aggression is not towards Morgan. I'm really not aggressive towards Morgan. I speak my mind. My tone can change because as a man, I got a deep voice, and when I raise my voice, that can be taken out of context and things like that. But I never showed any aggression towards Morgan off cameras or anything like that. So that's something that from day one I never was concerned with. Morgan never was concerned with, right? But at the same time, I know one of Morgan's concern was the way I raise my voice and the way I come off, with aggression. But being actually aggressive towards Morgan, no, that's something I don't tolerate. So she never have to worry about that.
Okay, so that's what a lot of women, some women like. Some women, there's a certain man out there for every woman, and there's a certain woman out there for every man. For those who want that, right? And some women gravitate towards that. Some women won't, and vice versa as men. So there's a lot of women who love the way you're that alpha aggressive man. Some people's like, I see some red flags. So to those women who, see the red flags of that aggression, and they may feel it could lead into something else. Have you ever had any physical altercations with women in the past? Any type of any domestic?
Never. I never had any domestic cases with any woman in my life. All right. I just want to throw that out there. There's not one case of me being domestic to a woman. That's something, again, I do not tolerate. A man do not put his hands on a woman, and point blank. If you feel you have to do that, just walk out, man. So I do not believe in beating on women or domestic violence in any shape or form. So I just want to throw that out there.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Sorry, let's move on from that. So Nair in the hair, bro. Nair in the hair. Like, why didn't you run right then? Like, what
Let me
made
tell
like?
you.
Cause some
Let me
people
tell
like,
you
yo,
something.
does he like? Because I got a homeboy who likes crazy. He
Let
loves
me let me tell you something, Rasheed. Let me tell
Yeah.
you something. The reason why I didn't bring that up to my boy or anything like that, I see everybody throwing a hissy fit, Morgan there and here and things like that. Let me tell you something. Morgan is very calculated on what she do, right? Um, I'm not worrying about that, man. I truly believe with all my heart. Morgan know who to do that to or not, right? So I don't think Morgan would even consider putting Nair in my hair. So that's why I felt like it was nothing to really talk about. You know, at the end, my boy was telling me like, Tony, why you never told me that? You know, but I feel like you know
that was a
that's
non-issue for you. You didn't
it
even.
was a non-issue for me. You know what I'm saying? It literally was a non-issue for me, man. I felt no way about it. I wasn't scared. I wasn't any of that shit, man. Excuse my French, but
No,
nah.
you good. You good. You good.
Yeah.
So, so what, if anything, you wish would have been shown between you and Morgan that wasn't?
My sensitive side of with Morgan, you know, where you know me and Morgan talk, how I can be loving, how I can, you know, hug Morgan and be more caring and things like that. It seems like, you know, they got shots of me aggressive, you know, not
Yes.
caring about her emotional
Yeah.
state and things of that nature. So that it really ticked me off how they portrayed me. But I understand, you know, it's a show and whatever happens, whatever, man. But I was really ticked off by that because, you know, obviously Morgan seen something in me, right? To
Yeah.
to to
Yeah.
to continue each
Yeah.
episode, right? Obviously she seen something in me, and I feel like, you know, they really wasn't showing that, and I wish they would have showed that sensitive side of me.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with that being said, so like I tell everybody, even when I was on this show, yeah, they're gonna clip it and put it together, but they can
Right.
only show what you give them. Period. They can't superimpose you. They can
Right.
only
Right.
show what you give them. So
And
it may be in a medley of things to make it look a certain way, but it's still you on the screen.
right. And I respect that. Absolutely. And again, I would never blame production or anything. I gave them all of that, right?
Right.
To edit how they want and things like that. So again, I understand. I'm taking full accountability of that. But again, there's another side of me that they
Gotcha.
didn't show. And
Okay.
you know, again, I take accountability of that. But Morgan know that side.
Got you. Got you. So with that being said, your sensitive side, because what we saw on the show when y'all were at the getaway, and I think she had just let Lyndon like basically say, I'm gonna move with Tony. And she was
Right.
crying in the room. When you went in there, you weren't too sensitive. So
Nah, I wasn't.
was
I
that when you
wasn't.
were upset with the whole Lyndon thing? You felt
Yeah.
like she was playing games because you said earlier she was
Right.
playing games with Lyndon and you.
Right.
Were you mad at him, her, or the whole
Right.
situation?
I was just mad at the whole process, right? I was mad at the whole situation. I was just done with it. I was tired, man. You know, and I was more concerned about Morgan emotional state, right? And I just got tired of it, you know. And again, I could have addressed it a better way, you know. When I said you know, when I showed no emotions and I turned around and just walked away and said, you know, whatever. After that, you know, when the cameras was off, I did speak to Morgan one on one, and and she did see that sensitive side of me and things like that. I just, you know, it's the time frame, man. Again, I was tired of the whole process. The Morgan have to choose between Lyndon and I, and it was a lot for her. You know, as you can see, she was an emotional roller coaster, man. It was a lot for her, and I know I put mostly all of that on her, you know. So it was getting to me as well in the terms of how I was acting and things like that. So that really got to me as well. So yeah.
I get you, man. It can be a long process, but
Right.
so and we'll finish up with you and Morgan here shortly, but let's get into Natasha Gay.
Right.
So let's talk about this, man. So from what everybody's seen is you met her at the mixer. She went home first episode at the mixer. That's the one that me and Simone were a part of.
Right. I
And
remember.
we met all you. We met her there. And the story goes, hey, she gave you the number, you contacted her, and then all hell broke loose on camera.
Right.
So kind of give us a timeline of that, because and then we'll get into how and why it got mentioned on TV and for what reason. But before we get to that, how did that even come about?
So if you don't mind, I just like to address that.
Sure.
In terms of Natasha and, excuse me, what I said in my confessions pertaining to Natasha. Again, I take full accountability of my actions, right? I have to take that, right? I'm not a kiss and tell type of dude. If Natasha, if you watching, I want to apologize. First, I privately apologized to Natasha. Me and Natasha had a talk over the phone, and privately I apologized to her, and we had a nice talk. But because this was done in public, I want to publicly apologize to Natasha. She did not deserve that. It was very distasteful about, concerning what I did. A lack of poor wording. It was really, really distasteful and disgusting. And I'm really ashamed that when I look and watch that episode, the things that I said pertaining to Natasha and I, it's really cringing. All right. And Natasha, for what it is, for what it's worth, I truly apologize. Our relationship, that's not the man who I am, and I'm better than that. I apologize. It was something that I have to live with. But again, I want to apologize because you did not deserve that. You're a beautiful woman, and I'll take that. Any criticism or hate that I get for saying those words, I'll take it. And I made a mistake. I fess up to my mistakes, and I'm going to move on. But I just want to tell Natasha I apologize. Now, with that said, Chef,
one second, I gotta plug my camera in. Keep going. Go ahead. I gotta plug my camera. Go ahead.
No, moving forward, again, me and Natasha did have a relationship. I don't know if it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but yes, I did have a relationship with Natasha. But I can assure you, that relationship did not extend throughout the course of the show.
Right. So that's what people want to know. We want to know a timetable, because you met her in the first episode or the first filming, right? And then you all exchanged numbers, and the whole world knows y'all were physical. Y'all were intimate, so to speak.
Right. No, I'm gonna put a butt to that right now. It wasn't just physical. We had Natasha and I talk. It wasn't just a physical thing, right? Again, Natasha and I had a relationship that extended, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know the time frame in terms of, I can't sit here and give you, okay, it was 4 weeks or 5 weeks. I don't know. What I can tell you is, as Morgan and I got, deeper and deeper into our connection, Natasha was no longer in the picture.
Okay. So you're saying it wasn't just like a one night stand. You and Natasha really y'all hung out, y'all dated, you recorded, it was cool, y'all talked.
Absolutely. Natasha and I was not a one night stand. So whoever said that, or however it may seem, and if I made it seem like that was not the case. Natasha and I did not have a one night stand. Absolutely not.
Yeah, because it came across a little crazy for her. She tossed you the number, and then adults did what adults did.
And again, right. It was, and again, I have to eat that, right? It was a lack of bad wording, and all of that. It wasn't just that, it wasn't like, I met Natasha, one thing led to another. No, me and Natasha went out, we had good times, we had great conversation and things like that. So it was not a one night stand.
Okay. So at this time, when you're feeling Natasha, you're obviously feeling Morgan at some point. So did those two cross over? Like, were you messing with Natasha and Morgan at the same time, or how?
No. Like I said, me and Morgan was just talking at the time. It wasn't really it wasn't no deep connection or anything like that. So I'm on a dating show, right? So I'm dating.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, me and Morgan is dating, and I can't talk to anyone else. So I was on a dating show, and
I got you.
Me and Natasha had our relationship, and that's what it was. But I'm not going to sit here and let anybody say it was a one night stand. That was not the case.
Okay.
And again, Natasha's a beautiful woman, and take full accountability of my actions, and I'm sorry.
I got you. I got you. So, yeah. So, with that being said, Morgan, because it is a dating show, but like Tommy said, you broke the dating show rules because you were dating somebody who was eliminated. He was in your same city, and you're an adult, obviously. You do what you want, but you broke Tommy's rules. But when you started getting more serious
Right.
with Morgan, did she know about you and Natasha's interaction? And if she did, to what extent?
No, she did not know about Natasha and my relationship with Natasha. No, she did not. But as time went by, I felt the need to let Morgan know, right? So I took Morgan to the side, and we had a deep conversation. And actually, what I did was I confided in Morgan. I understand me and Morgan was dating, but however, we was not together, right?
Right.
We wasn't a couple, right? So
you
I
weren't
did not
exclusive.
want to hold anything. Right. I didn't want to hold anything back. So I felt that to clear me and just to be transparent with Morgan, that hey, I should tell her this. I don't want something to come up later or down the
Right.
line or anything like that. So I told her I had a relationship with with Natasha, and I told her that in confidence. I was not under the impression that Morgan will say that on cameras or anything like that.
Okay, so that I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay, so you decided to tell Morgan this because you all were getting closer and you saw her being your person, or you just wanted to get out in front of it. You wanted to hear from her before the streets told her, like, because those could be two different things. Like, did you genuinely
No,
want to?
right. Right. No, I felt that she was definitely becoming my person, and I didn't want to hold anything back. I didn't want to keep any secrets from her, anything like that. So I felt, you know what, let me go ahead and tell her this, and we're gonna move forward from it. If she, I felt that, by me telling her, she have to respect that. I mean, we not together. We are not solid like that. We are dating each other. So I just felt that, as I seen that, we getting closer and closer, excuse me, and our relationship is growing, I felt the need to tell her that. Yes.
Okay, so you told her that. What was her response? Did she go crazy? What did she respect it? She was like, "I get it."
That,
Like, how did that go?
yeah. To be honest with you, I really don't remember how it went down, but
Okay,
I do remember that she didn't she didn't throw a fit or anything like that.
right.
For one, she had to respect that. But yeah,
Yeah,
she was
y'all
angry.
weren't
I'm not going to
exclusive.
sit here and say yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say she wasn't angry and things of that nature. She was, but in terms of the terminology and what she said, I'm not going to get into all of that. But yeah, she was mad. Yes.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay. So all right, bet. So then after that, obviously Morgan decided to continue on the process with you, right? And if she was going to bring it up, she could have
Right.
brought it up very earlier on in the process. So after that, you and her continued to date.
Absolutely.
So were you and Morgan intimate?
No, I'm not going to share that type of information or anything. Just put it like, Morgan and I had a deep connection with one another, and she definitely was my person. My feelings towards Morgan was real. It was true, and you know, amongst all the negativity and the toxic and everything that was going on, I really cared for Morgan.
Got you. Okay. I like that. I like that. All right. I like that. Okay. So at the end of the day, this was brought out to national television. So that's what really people up in arms about Tony, and if they have issue with you,
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
you kiss and tell. You told the world this woman's private business that didn't need to be out there for the masses. Why did that come out, and how did that come out? Did you feel you need to say that,
Well,
or did someone say that first? Why did that come out and
Well,
how?
to be clear, if anyone was really paying attention, I didn't tell anyone. I confided in Morgan, and I told Morgan. Morgan brought it out, and then the world realized that, right? So I
Oh,
didn't
so
say
wait.
anything.
When y'all were in that interaction, when what did she call it, like an entangle or situationship or something like that? I don't
Right,
remember.
right, right,
Did
right,
she?
right.
So that was the first
Absolutely.
time. Dang, I forgot about that.
That was the first time that ever came out. Yes.
So okay, so in that moment, that was. I mean, you were filming. So did you know? I mean, that was coming. Obviously, you said that's the only person you shared that with. You didn't share that with the boys around the pool table.
That is.
Tony, hello. Oh no, no, no. Oh no. Oh.
You
All right, I
hear
think
me?
yeah, we got you. We got you. We got
You
you.
got me?
Yeah. So go ahead and finish your thought.
All right. All right. No, no, and I didn't tell anyone. I confided in Morgan, and when she brought that out on national TV, I was kind of surprised. But again, I don't blame Morgan. You know, um, it's something again that I have to eat. Morgan felt disrespected by it, and I have to eat that. Like I said, you know, I I want to apologize to both ladies, right? With Natasha, I apologize to the things that I said about the intimacy and things like that. With Morgan, it's more of what I put Morgan through, right? To be honest, I was shocked. Well, I'll wait for you to bring that up. Let me take that back, and I'll just wait for you to bring that up.
Okay. Well, so I guess my question is, when she said it, obviously you didn't know she was going to say that. In that moment,
Mhm.
like obviously, I mean, it's a show. Like, why didn't you challenge her? Like, why would
Right.
you say that? Like that's not cool. Like, you just continued with it, and then you brought it up
Well,
again in the men's
well,
lounge.
No, no. I did. I didn't challenge. I don't want to say challenge, but I did speak up and said, you're not going to talk to Natasha like that.
Okay.
You're not going to talk negativity about, Natasha. She's a beautiful woman, and I'm not going to sit here and allow that in my presence. So
Okay.
I did
You
say
did.
that.
Okay. I got
Now, in production, excuse me, I'm sorry.
you. No, nothing.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Okay.
you. Go ahead.
Yes. In the confessions, I really didn't bring it up, but at the time, I knew that obviously production know about it, right? After the date with Morgan and things like that, and again, I'm not blaming anybody but me, but Tommy was kind of like pushing, taking it out of Tony, what happened? What happened? What happened? And
Yeah.
like I said, it was a poor choice of wording that how I described it and things like that. And again, I take full accountability of that.
Right. But at the end of the day, from what I'm hearing, I don't think it was a poor word of choice because from what you're telling me, you confided in a person that you felt you trusted, that it wouldn't leave
Right, right,
the two of you. So you weren't
right,
being disrespectful. It came out like you were, but it seemed like it
right,
came out to this other person, the only person that could release it. If you're truly saying that it was just between the two of you, then what was your
right,
like? Yeah, maybe you said it, yeah, because it was kind of cocky the way you said it in Tommy's lounge. It was like, yeah,
right,
but at the
right.
same time, to your point, it never should have been put out there because obviously you weren't telling Morgan to brag about it.
No, no, obviously not. And again, I'm just mad about the entire situation because I never meant for Morgan to get hurt in this situation or Natasha, and Natasha didn't do anything wrong, and I'm truly, truly sorry that it came out the way it did. And
Yeah,
I never meant to hurt any of the ladies. I really didn't, and it's just something that I can take full accountability for and move forward.
yeah. But so Morgan came off a little wild with all that too, and she did initial. I mean, she did post an apology. So shout out to Morgan for apologizing.
But
We got to keep it a buck. So,
right.
did you hear from any other ladies from the cast that you're cool with? because I know you're cool with some of the guys. Any ladies you still cool with? Did you hear from them? Did they say, "Hey, you sorry this happened to you, Tony"? Anybody reaching out? Try to
Well,
console you.
yeah, me, right? Me and Marcia talk from time to time. Me and Cynthia, that's my home girl right there. So
Cynthia seemed like she'd be
Cynthia,
everybody's homegirl.
yeah. Cynthia will call me and be like, Tony from up top, it's okay,
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
we have a great relationship with both ladies, and they definitely call me and check up on me and things of that nature, and we have a great relationship.
Okay, cool. So anything else? Because anything else you want to say about the Morgan situation, Natasha as a whole, before I kind of move
Right,
on to the next question?
right. No, you can move on to the next one. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how many times I can apologize, but I never meant to hurt Natasha in the course of just coming out in the light of everything. And I know Natasha have a family, friends, and people who care about her.
Yeah,
And for this to come out in this matter, I'm pretty sure it was hurtful. So again, I want to shout out to Natasha and apologize to Natasha.
got you. All right, so let's see. My train of thought I lost. Oh, so obviously you and Morgan go to the last show, right? And Morgan
Right,
decides to
right.
choose herself. Were you out there to
Mm.
choose her? Were you ready to choose her? And if so, were you surprised? And if you weren't ready to choose her, were you relieved?
Right. Good question, Rashid. Very good question. Listen, as I stated earlier, I really came on the show to find love. I truly thought I opened myself. I was vulnerable with Morgan, and I was ready. I was excited. You can see the smile on my face. I'm like, yeah, this is it right here. It's Morgan and I. We're gonna do this together. We're gonna show the world that we are not toxic and we can get through this, right? So, yeah, when she when she chose herself, I was taken aback. I was hurt. I
Okay.
I was
So you really
I was
wanted to go. You really
surprised.
wanted to pursue the relationship. You were really truly hurt.
Absolutely.
So
No,
you didn't see it coming at all.
absolutely. Listen,
Okay.
I didn't come this long way to not pursue this relationship with this woman. We've been through so much throughout the course of the 12 weeks. So yeah, I really felt that, Morgan and I can do something. We can take on this crazy world together.
Okay.
I was hurt, as the thunder and the lightning was coming down, and I'm just listening to Morgan speak, right? I'm literally listening to everything that this woman is saying to me,
Uh-huh.
right? And as the clouds cleared and I was home and I was able to really sit back and just take it all in, Rashid, I can't blame Morgan for choosing herself. You
Okay.
know, I I act a fool. I embarrassed her with
Well,
the
both of y'all
Marcia
did.
situation,
Both of y'all did.
not showing, right,
But this
but
is
not
you. Go ahead.
showing
Yeah.
that emotional connection that Morgan needed, and I to look back in retrospect, I don't blame Morgan for choosing herself. I left Morgan no option but to choose herself, and again, shout out to Morgan. I want to apologize to Morgan and tell Morgan, I truly understand why you chose yourself. I left you no other option but to choose yourself. I mean, I did a lot over that course of 12 weeks. So, I just want to apologize to you on national, and publicly, excuse me, and say that I
National. Yeah. Go ahead.
understand.
Call it. It's gonna be national TV. Go ahead.
Right. No. I just want to say to Morgan, I understand. I understand why you choose yourself, and I left you no option. And for that, I'm truly, truly sorry that I left you with that option of choosing yourself, because I know that Morgan and I truly cared for each other,
Yeah.
and I know she was hurt. I know she was hurt, and like I said, I don't blame her. I understand it, and much love to her. Shout out to Morgan. True
Yeah.
talk.
Okay, great. So let me ask you this. Okay. So, and I agree with you because you did
Hmm.
show her enough red flags to choose herself. And I did say that. Okay.
Right.
But earlier
Absolutely.
on in the
Yeah.
process, she mentioned pre counseling. and you were opposed to it. How do you feel about therapy and going to counseling? Have you ever been? Would you go in the future? Tell us your stance on
Hmm.
therapy and doing your inner
Right.
work.
Yeah, Rashid, I'm ready. I'm way ahead of you. I am in counseling right now.
Okay.
I'm working on myself right now to become a better person. I realized that, this process took a whole toll on my life. You're right, and really looking through an outside lens and seeing how I responded, how I was emotional disconnected to Morgan and things like that. It's something that I truly need to work on. There's some things that I need to work on, and you know I want to become a better person. I want to become a better man for my kids and things like that, and definitely a better person to obviously be in a relationship with and things of that nature. So yeah, I've been in therapy for about 4 months now, and
That's
I'm
what's up.
definitely working on myself.
Got you, man. I love that. I'm a
Hmm.
big advocate of counseling and whatever it takes. If it was just this show
Absolutely.
and you seeing yourself in a negative light, I know you're a PK and you got kids. So I'm sure your family was like, yo, so what was the family? Did the family hit you up and see you? Like, is that the Tony that they know? Kind of how did that
Yeah.
go to the backlash
Oh,
from
right,
the
right.
family?
No, no, no. Right. To be honest with you, my mom, my aunties, my sister, they was highly disappointed in me. Because they know that I wasn't that person on TV. They didn't know who that was on TV, and you know, I. I felt the shame. I felt that I let them down because, being raised by all women, I was raised by all women in my life and things of that nature. So I truly believe that I let them down. They know that I'm a better man than what I portrayed on national TV. And, I apologize to them because I need to realize it don't just affect my life. It affects the women lives that's part of my life,
So were you raised by mostly
friends.
women?
Yes, all women,
Oh,
not
really?
mostly, all women raised me,
Oh, okay.
all women.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
for my mom to feel embarrassed, she have to talk to her friends. Her friends watch the show. My auntie friends watch the show. My sister friends watch the show. So,
Yeah.
it's a sense of embarrassment for the entire family, not just for me. So,
Yeah.
again, I have to eat that, take full responsibility of that, and just become a better person and learn from that experience.
Okay, I love that. So one
Hmm.
last thing on you and Morgan. Well, two last things. So Morgan chooses herself, and you said you were ready to move forward with her because I feel she was okay having enough red flags to not choose you. From what we saw, you had just as many red flags not to choose her. What made you
Right.
want to choose Morgan and continue the process?
Well, because again, as I stated, I let my guards down, man. I really cared about her, So, what I felt about Morgan is real. It's nothing fake, So, I felt that we can get through it. I really did. And again, I understand what national TV show, but off the cameras, me and Morgan was good with each other. We had great conversation, we had good times and things like that. So I felt that, we definitely can get through this process and take on the world together.
Got you. Got you. I want to say this before we move on. Yo, we got 1,400 people watching this live. Thank you so much. We love all the support, but you shacking with us right now. You know why you shacking with us? I'm using that from my guy, Darius Whitfield, Dear Future Wifey podcast. If you hadn't seen me and Simone on there,
Right.
you're missing it. But he says you shacking with us, but you ain't like. We got 1,400 people here, but only 300 likes. So please, please, please hit the like button. Shows the algorithm for YouTube that we having a good time and we
Hmm.
partying over here. So
Hit
please,
the like
please hit the
button,
like,
man. Hit the like
subscribe,
button.
the whole thing. All
Right.
right. So after that, she leaves. Boom, boom, boom.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we know a lot of things happen after camera stopped rolling. Did you reach out to Morgan? Did y'all chop it up? Have y'all seen each other since then? Are y'all dating? Like, what's good? Did you call her and apologize? Like, what happened after the show?
Nah, words were said. Over that course of the ending, and I was too hurt, man, to even pick up the phone and
Mm,
talk to Morgan and
wow.
things of that nature, and probably vice versa, and so some time lapsed between me and Morgan, before we actually picked up the phone and talked and
Because people
had a
don't
great
know.
conversation. And
People don't know. I'm sorry, I just cut you off, but people don't know. Me and Simone were there the weekend before 4th of July. So this happened last summer. So I don't know when
right,
you all
right,
finish filming, but it's now months and months and months have passed. So how long did it
right.
take for whomever picked? Did you initiate the conversation, text, phone? Because like you're about to go into. So go ahead.
Oh, right, right, absolutely. I definitely picked up the phone and called her after, the healing process, right? Being stung and shocked that she did not choose me. So it was I went through a lot of emotions, right? I was angry, I was sad, I was confused, and things of that nature. So I had to let that process, take the steps through that process to actually find myself in a better place to actually call her and for us to have a really decent type of conversation, So it took some time for me to call Morgan, and yeah, we good. Me and Morgan is good right now.
So that was going to say, what's the status of you all's relationship? Is there anything romantically involved there, or y'all friends, or y'all community,
Right.
or y'all
Right.
what's the current
It's
status?
nothing right. It's nothing romantically at this time. We talk from time to time, but not on a daily basis. I still care for Morgan, very much so. And my concern is that Morgan, her emotional health, right? So I want Morgan to be in a good place, and even if it's not with me, I want her to be in a good place, And I truly care for her. I care for her well being, and yeah, that's where we at. We don't talk on a daily basis, but here and there we would pick up the phone or just shoot a little text and how you doing, and leave it at that.
So no, y'all aren't arch enemies or anything like that, right?
Oh, no. We definitely not arch enemies. Again, we go through what we go through, but yeah, everything is good.
Okay. So all right. So man, we've been in here over an hour. Thank you so much for the conversation, man. Thank you for your time. We're about to go ahead and
Absolutely.
start wrapping up. So everybody saw the the preview of the reunion that's coming up. So first
Right,
of
right.
all, for people who don't know the timelines, how long ago was the reunion shot?
The reunion was shot in actually December of last year,
Of last year.
December 14th of last year.
So with that, okay, so how many shows were out when y'all shot y'all's reunion?
None.
Wow. Okay.
The show didn't air yet. You remember our premiere actually aired in January.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had the January 6th. We had a party to show the episode. That's
Right,
right.
right,
Wow. So
right.
I've heard of them doing that like 2, 3, 4 episodes in. Ours was
No.
basically almost done but ours unique circumstance. We're the most unique show out of all because we were
Right,
on a resort. So,
right.
ours was
Yeah,
a little
right.
different. COVID, we didn't even have vaccines wasn't out yet. So ours
Oh,
was a little
wow,
different.
wow.
But so did you, because I know for us, before the reunion, they gave us little clips that was kind of going to be shown on the reunion, I guess to already kind of get us ready for reactions. Now, they didn't show
Right,
us everything that was shown, some was
right,
some hidden stuff,
right,
but you
right.
guys had no idea what was. So
Listen,
you watched the
listen,
show, the clips, and then boom, respond. Like, is it
listen.
like, what you got?
I didn't know. We did not know anything. So we get to the reunion and just like bang.
And they stick a mic, you on a kick. Wow.
Yeah. So
So,
if you can imagine, bang. Yeah. Yeah.
wow. Okay. So can you give us a preview of the review of the reunion? Obviously, we saw you and Morgan gonna go at it. She called you
Right.
some and she talked, but
Yeah.
again, I
Right.
know emotions were high. When the emotions
Right.
are high, logic is low. Shout
Right.
out to
Right.
Sharp for that one. But how did that reunion go? Can you give us some spoilers of what happened? And I saw you and
Sure.
Morgan. Obviously,
Sure.
y'all probably gonna be
Listen.
the focus of the show.
Listen. All I can say is stay tuned. It's gonna be get your popcorn. It's gonna be something to watch. I tell you that.
I can imagine, man. I can imagine. It's gonna be crazy, especially
Right.
the fact that y'all. So, just for the people at home, so when you get there, obviously you see nothing, and they show you. I mean, the most interesting clips. They show them to you, and then immediately Tommy's gonna ask you a question, and you
Right.
have to respond. On the
Absolutely.
spot.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
That's the
Absolutely.
hot
So
seat. Wow.
yeah, it was very interesting to say the least. And like I said, stay tuned, and you guys will definitely enjoy it. Definitely for sure.
Cool, cool, man. Well, hey, man, thank you so much, man, for coming on here.
Absolutely,
You didn't
man.
have to do it, but I appreciate you for doing this. And if if whatever you hope to accomplish, I hope that it does this for you. But at the same time,
Appreciate
I
that.
I appreciate anybody who's coming on to take the heat, so to speak, and
Right.
can
Yeah.
answer for what we've all seen that you can't really
Right.
run away from. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
any closing remarks you want to say to the people that you feel you've wronged? I know you've apologized, or any of the
Right.
viewers, your parents, and
Right.
all this to put a bow on it. I'll let you have the final word, and then we'll close
Right.
it
Right.
after I give a little,
Right. Right.
some church announcements before we go.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to start off by saying thank you, Rashid, for having me.
Yeah,
Such
for
a
sure.
great platform. I've been a fan for a long time now, and
Thank
it's
you.
really an honor to be here with you. So
Appreciate
thank
it.
you for that. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
For the fans out there, and for the people that's watching, I just want to say, this is who I am right here. What you guys see, I'm very humble, upfront, and direct at the same time. But I men make mistakes. We all make mistakes in life, and it's something that again I got to eat. I'm gonna eat all of that. Let me eat all of that, and I just want to stand for what is right, and I have no intentions, or it never was my intentions to disrespect any female. And I definitely respect all women. I was raised by all women, so it's all love there, and just looking forward to the reunion for you guys to have a good time, and thank you all for watching. Truly appreciate it. Love.
My man. All right.
Hmm.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. Remember, please like and subscribe and join our community. And we've got some more stuff coming for you guys. And we're going to keep this thing going after their show's over. We're going to come back to you with more cool stuff and more podcast type topics and stuff from Simone and I. And hopefully we'll do some other interviews. We
Right.
don't do a ton, but I want to bring people on that I think that you guys want to hear from. And I want to hear from as well. So thanks again, Tony. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We
Much
got over
love.
1,500 people in here. And until next time, Ages and Stages, Rashid and Simone.
All
Peace.
right. Love, man. All right.
My man.
Definitely. All right.